The whispers and the dream. It all started with a quiet whisper in the boxing world, a murmur that quickly turned into something more significant. At first, it was just a tweet, a photo, and a few words passed between fans. But soon enough, this rumor began to spiral, fueled by the power of social media and the endless curiosity of boxing fans. The talk wasn't about a fight or even a confrontation, it was about a training session. Rumors spread like wildfire, claiming that Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao, two of the most brilliant and accomplished fighters in boxing, had trained together. The images were scarce, the footage was unclear, but the possibility of it happening was enough to get people excited, especially boxing fans who had long fantasized about the idea of these two legends sharing a ring, a gym, or even just a moment of learning together. For the fans, this wasn't just idle gossip. This was not clickbait. It was a dream. The idea of Terence Crawford, an undefeated, calculated tactician, training alongside Manny Pacquiao, the explosive Filipino champion who once ruled 8 different weight divisions, sparked a fire that could not be easily put out. There was no need for confirmation of this moment. The idea of it alone was enough to make the rumor feel like reality, even if it was just for a brief moment. For many, it felt like a dream come true. The silence that spoke volumes. What makes Crawford different from so many other athletes in boxing is the way he carries himself. He doesn't rush to the press or post selfies just to clarify rumors. That's not his style. Unlike others who thrive on media attention, Crawford remains quiet. He is calculated in his actions, preferring to focus on what really matters: the work, the craft, and the fight. So, when the news of his possible training session with Pacquiao broke, Crawford did exactly what fans expected. He stayed silent, not denying the rumors, but not confirming them either. His approach was intentional. He didn't feel the need to fuel the fire by responding with a statement that would satisfy everyone's curiosity. Instead, he allowed the rumors to live, and by doing so, gave them a life of their own. It wasn't until days later, during a post-training interview, that Crawford gave fans a small nugget of insight. He spoke about how he's always learning, how even after achieving so much, he finds ways to improve by picking up small details. He said, "No matter how far you get, there's always something else to pick up, something small that changes everything." He didn't name Pacquiao. He didn't mention anyone in particular, but the boxing world knew exactly what Crawford was hinting at. That statement seemed to perfectly align with what fans wanted to believe. Crawford, the man who had already reached the top, the one who had just defeated Errol Spence in a dominant fashion, was still learning from the best, and who better to teach him than Pacquiao, the legend known for his footwork, his angles, and his ability to break down opponents with lightning speed. The subtle art of growth. When Crawford made that statement, it wasn't just a casual remark. It was a reflection of his character, his relentless pursuit of growth. To say that a fighter at Crawford's level is still looking for ways to improve is rare. Most champions, especially those at the peak of their career, have a tendency to become complacent, satisfied with their achievements, but not Crawford. His statement showed that, even after all his success, he was still hungry for more knowledge, for more understanding of the sport. It was a reminder to fans and analysts alike that Crawford is not just a fighter. He is a student of the game. In the world of boxing, there's a huge difference between a fighter who relies on their natural talent and one who seeks to improve constantly. Crawford's humble statement said everything about his mindset. It wasn't about being the best or proving that he had nothing left to learn. It was about understanding that there's always room for improvement. His dedication to this idea is one of the reasons why he's considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world today. He doesn't rest on his laurels. He keeps striving for greatness. The significance of silence. Crawford's silence around the rumors was more telling than any confirmation could have been. By not denying the training session with Pacquiao, he allowed the rumor to breathe and grow. And while some fans might have wished for more concrete evidence, the mystery surrounding it added to its allure. Silence in boxing often carries more weight than words. It suggests that there might be something more to the story than what meets the eye. Crawford's refusal to immediately shut down the rumors only fueled the fire and deepened the intrigue. It wasn't just about what Crawford said, but how he said it. His body language, his tone, and the way he spoke all suggested that he had experienced something meaningful, something worth keeping private. In boxing, this kind of subtlety is more significant than any headline. It's a reminder that sometimes the most important moments aren't the ones captured on camera. They are the ones that happen behind closed doors, where true learning and growth take place. Asterisk the legacy of the training rumor. The real magic behind the rumor of Crawford and Pacquiao training together is that it taps into something deeper than just the idea of two fighters sharing a ring. It taps into the mythos of boxing. The sport is not just about the fights, it's about the stories, the legacies, and the connections between fighters from different eras. This rumored training session symbolizes a passing of the torch, not in the traditional sense, but in the exchange of knowledge. Crawford's reputation as one of the smartest fighters of his generation could be further elevated by the idea that he learned something from Pacquiao. Similarly, Pacquiao's legacy remains relevant through his association with Crawford, showing that he's not just a retired champion, but a source of wisdom for the next generation. This dynamic between the two fighters is about more than just technique, it's about respect. Crawford's ability to learn from Pacquiao, even without actually working with him, is a tribute to Pacquiao's influence on the sport. It's a reminder that in boxing, the connection between fighters can transcend their rivalry or competition. It's about understanding and acknowledging greatness, and in some cases, carrying the lessons of past legends into the present. Asterisk legacy and growth. Asterisk the connection between Crawford and Pacquiao, even if it only existed in rumor, shows the power of legacy in boxing. Both of these men have etched their names in the history books, and by even being loosely associated, they continue to elevate each other's legacies. For Crawford, being linked to Pacquiao means more than just a headline. It means that he's part of the ongoing evolution of boxing. The idea of him learning from a legend like Pacquiao places him in the lineage of fighters who understand the deeper elements of the sport. It suggests that Crawford, like Pacquiao before him, is not just interested in winning fights. He's interested in mastering the craft and understanding the finer points that set great fighters apart from good ones. Pacquiao's name continues to resonate within the boxing world, and even though he's retired, his influence is still felt. When Crawford was associated with him, even if only through rumors, it brought new life to Pacquiao's legacy. It showed that Pacquiao's contribution to boxing wasn't just about the championships or the explosive knockouts. It was about the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding of the sport that he gained over the years. And it's this kind of wisdom that he could pass on to someone like Crawford. Asterisk the power of storytelling in boxing. Asterisk in the end, the story of Crawford and Pacquiao training together, whether real or imagined, is bigger than the truth. It's about the narratives that define boxing. The sport lives off stories, whether they are real or fabricated. What matters is the meaning behind them and how they shape the way we view fighters and their careers. The rumor of Crawford training with Pacquiao is a testament to how powerful these stories can be in boxing. It's not just about what happens in the ring. It's about the myths we build around the fighters, the legacies we create, and the connections we imagine between eras. The story, whether true or not, speaks to the heart of boxing. It's about legacy, respect, and the quiet exchange of knowledge between fighters. It's about the idea that, even at the top, a fighter like Crawford is still looking for ways to grow, to learn, and to evolve. That's what makes boxing so special. It's not just about the fights, it's about the stories we tell, the legends we create, and the lessons that are passed down from one generation to the next. Whether or not Crawford and Pacquiao ever trained together, the idea of it has already added a new layer to their legacies, and will continue to shape the narrative of boxing for years to come. Asterisk the unseen power of the gym. Asterisk in boxing, much of the magic happens away from the spotlight. The world is often focused on the grand spectacles, the fights, the headlines, the wins and losses. However, true champions are often forged in quieter spaces, under fluorescent gym lights, with no cameras, to capture the sweat and effort. This is where Crawford's approach stands out. He understands that growth doesn't always come from a public victory or an overwhelming performance in front of thousands of fans. Sometimes it's the small, intimate moments in a gym that make the difference. A few rounds with an experienced fighter, a lesson shared in silence, a slight adjustment in technique. These are the